Welcome back, everyone, to the Legends Never Die podcast. This is your host, Hunter Frugier, alongside co-host Matt, Wesley, and Frank on the computer and video, as always. We got good feedback from video number 1, so we'll try to implement that more this time. Put a lot of video highlights from the games, reactions, stuff like that to keep y'all entertained while watching the live version of the show. And we'll kick it off. NFL, Week 3, a lot of good things going on there. College football, we had a lot there. UFC fight that was kind of boring, but most importantly, NFL Week 3. We have 8 teams that remain undefeated, 2 that are very surprising to me.
The 49ers and the Bills, huge for me. Bills, got to credit the great defense. Josh Allen managing the game very well.
Not turning the ball over.
Frank Gore surprisingly killing it.
Singletary
out, though.
He's ageless. Gore is. But yeah, Bills, I don't know. I mean, you're almost guaranteed a playoff spot if you start 3-0. I think it definitely comes to a halt this week against Patriots. That's a fact.
Hey, that's a sneaky one right there, really.
Yeah, I think Pats win it. Could be close,
Sneaky.
though. I don't know. Pats could also blow them out. Other undefeated team, 49ers. You had mentioned before the show it's been ages since they've been anywhere near a start like this.
Last time they started 3-0, I think, was 1998. That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy. And they had a tough road to get there this week. A really shaky game with a lot of turnovers. They had almost lost the game to Pittsburgh, but we'll get into that in a minute. And we'll start with our top 5 power rankings for NFL. I'll go first. I think, obviously, you have to have the Patriots at number 1.
Easy.
It's the Patriot way. They're the best team. They get better every week. Their defense this year, amazing, of course. Second, I have the Chiefs. I really like the Chiefs. They performed well this week against the Ravens, so obviously got them at 2. Rams, who I still think are overrated, are 3, just because I think they are right now the best team in the NFC.
Son.
Number 4,
Come on.
I have the Packers. I think Daddy Rodgers is going to lead the Packers to 10-6, 11-5. Could go all the way to the NFC Championship, but I like the Packers at 4. And at 5, it's a toss-up between 3 teams, but I still have to give it to the Saints, even with Breeze out.
You are lying.
Giving it to the Saints with Breeze out, just because their ability to play with Bridgewater, playing for Drew on the road, big win in Seattle, and the division sucks. We're going to lock up a playoff spot no matter what. Saints, Super Bowl, I'm telling you. So I got to keep them at 5, even with Bridgewater at quarterback. Honorable mention, a.k.a. 6th and 7th. I have Ravens and Dallas. I knew Matt would love that. What do you got?
Obviously, like you said, Pats number 1. Defense yet to give up a touchdown this season. Chiefs 2, you got the MVP. I got Cowboys at 3. You're asleep. Best O-line, run game, solid defense. Dak, who knows? Really, we'll see if he'll keep that up. Then you got the Rams at 4, and I like the Bears at 5. I like the defense. That offense is going to get going. I don't think the Packers are going to beat them second time around.
I don't know. Obviously, I'm skeptical about your 3 and 5, but Dallas is a solid team this year. We'll see this week. They're traveling to New Orleans. They should easily win this game with Drew Brees, but don't count out the Hoodats. I'm just telling you, man, I like the Saints over Dallas for sure. We could argue about it all day long.
This week, you don't like
I like the Saints over the Bears. I still like Saints this week, especially after the performance at Seattle. Dallas, they're good. Not great. They're good.
They're good enough.
And they haven't played nobody.
Bro, it doesn't matter.
They were up 4 points at halftime to Miami this past
Let
weekend.
me tell you why. They were looking ahead next week. They're like, damn, we got the Dolphins this week. Who are the Dolphins? Went out there like, damn, they punched us in the mouth the first half. We got to go out there, beat their ass, get ready for the Saints. They're looking ahead. You already know they were.
And I'm excited about the game this weekend and other games, but we'll get into a little NFL news real quick. This week, a lot going on. Saquon Barkley injured. What's the update there?
4 to 8 weeks with a high ankle sprain. I got him on my fantasy team, so that's
Did you handcuff the backup or pick him up this week?
I got Gallman last week, and then just so happens Saquon gets hurt next week. Crazy.
So you're the one that jinxed him. Saquon fans,
yeah.
Saquon fantasy owners,
Really?
It's Matt's fault. In other news, Melvin Gordon coming back to practice this week, so I've heard. Took him late, 5th round in fantasy, just in case he did indeed come back. I'm a little excited there because my team already, we could talk about that for just a second, scored over 200 points in fantasy this week.
Credit Mike Evans and Russell Wilson for that.
Mike Evans, 50 fantasy points In standard leagues, 48 fantasy points. That is insane. He went off for 8 catches, 190 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Hell of a game for Mike Evans. Russell Wilson, like you mentioned. I had Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey.
Damn.
Delaney Walker, Tyler Lockett dropping 35 in the flex. Dude, squad. Tyler Lockett was actually in another flex. The league I scored 200 points in, I accidentally started Deshaun Jackson in my flex, who did not play. So scored 200 without a flex. Imagine Melvin Gordon taking over my flex spot.
Championship?
Insane. Championship. That's a huge $100 10-team league, so that'd be huge. But Melvin Gordon news, I know you told me a little before the show. Obviously, I'm excited as an owner. Eckler owners, beware if he's on the fringes of coming back.
That's killing Eckler for sure. That's dropping Eckler stock to you're not even playing him anymore. You're sitting him on the bench every week, most likely.
A guy in our fantasy league earlier traded Eckler and I forgot who the other was, but it was Eckler and someone for Zeke Elliott, Marquise Brown. Aaron traded away Ezekiel Elliott for Eckler and someone else who was super mediocre.
Boy.
Dude, they were roasting him in the group chat. So, Eckler, sell high on him if you've got him. Melvin Gordon, eyeing a comeback. Hopefully sooner than later if they trade him.
They say
even
week
better.
5.
Week 5?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm hyped. I'm getting hyped by the news of this. Antonio Brown news. A lot's went on since last week's show. Patriots have indeed cut him off the team. He said he'll never play in the NFL again, so we'll see. But according to his agent today, he stated that he's still looking to play in the NFL after he just tweeted he'll never play in the NFL again. So, Antonio Brown, I'm praying for you, man. Something is really wrong with you, my friend.
I'm tired of hearing about him already. That's everything you hear. Antonio Brown this, Antonio Brown that.
The other everything you're hearing
cares?
right now, Jalen Ramsey, he's got obviously the negotiation issues in his contract. He doesn't like the situation he's in with the team. He's requested a trade up to this point. He played Sunday's game, or they played Thursday. He played Thursday's game, and now he's not showing up to practice. He's now declared himself on the paternity leave or whatever. What's going on with Ramsey? There's more leading up to it than that.
Yeah, he called in sick to practice one week. Then his back was hurt. Now he's on leave because his second son or second child is about to be born. And they say they have no idea when he's coming back. So we'll see what goes on there.
If I was Jaguars, I'd get rid of him. Obviously, he's not satisfied. And they got a hell of an offer for Baltimore. Did you hear the offer?
No.
Baltimore attempted to trade them their first and second round pick next year and the backup tight end who they drafted in the first round last year, Hayden Hurst. Yeah.
He's a beast.
First, second round, and a decent tight end. I would have took it if I was the Jaguars. Because if he wants out, obviously he's not going to perform at his peak performance. So
I think he's still going to go out there on whenever it's time to play and
do his job.
Yeah. He's going to say, throw me in man coverage. I got it.
Yeah, but still, I'm a little worried. I would trade him especially for that package. But you know Baltimore's going to have a late first-round pick. That's what Jacksonville said about the entire trade ordeal. They're looking for a top 10.
Dude, it's still a first-round pick. You can't, take the first-round pick, really, I think.
In other NFL news, we had Cam Newton. He's old news. I stated on the show last week I believe that it was about time for Cam Newton Carolina to start looking for a new quarterback. And Kyle Allen out of A&M in Houston.
Dude.
He was a dog in college. He shows up at Carolina, puts up 38 points this week, gets him a big road dub. He looked a hell of a lot better than Cam Newton to me. What do you think?
And Cam's out this week again. They say it's a longer-term foot injury. I like Allen. I think you got to stick with him. If he's going to 38 points, when's the last time Cam scored 38? I can't remember.
Exactly. I can't either. And the way the offense moved the ball, McCaffrey
Looked
again with a huge day. I'd keep it in there. But that's it for the NFL news. We'll go over a few fantasy monsters this week. Both our teams blew up. Matt caught a doubleheader win in his league. Biggest week of the year. You play 2 games, so 2-0 this week. I was also 2-0 this week in my games. I had some monster performers, starting with Mike Evans, we had mentioned earlier, 8 for 190 and 3 touchdowns. We'll put a little clip of a few of his catches from the game right here in the show for all the video watchers. Then we had Russell Wilson, my quarterback. He was rated number 1 going into the week. You knew he was going to shred the New Orleans Saints.
Dude, tell me how I put him on the bench Sunday morning for Rivers.
Wow.
I know, what a rookie move, huh? I mean, Rivers still had a good day.
Yeah, Russell Wilson hasn't been blowing up. But he went to the
blew up
tune.
the week before. He blew up week 2, but I don't know. They were running the ball a lot, but Carson can't hold on to the ball, which makes them, in the middle of the game, switch up the plan.
Yeah, they look
I don't
bad.
know. They just need to let
Saints
Wilson
defense
sling it,
looked
dude.
decent. Yeah, he threw 406, 2 touchdowns,
Easy
added
work.
51 rushing yards for another 2 touchdowns, scored 50 fantasy points. So that's 2 50-point performers. I haven't seen that in a long time. I haven't seen anybody put up 50 aside from Julio last year in that 300 receiving game. Nuts. Another top performer, same game, we had Alvin Kamara. He went off again, 9 catches, 92 yards, 70 rushing, and a touchdown. Again, a crucial part of that Saints victory, and he's Saints stonehead right now for as long as Breeze is out. Kamara's got to tote the rock. He's got to get 20 to 25 touches a game for Saints to win with Breeze out. You agree?
Oh, easy. He got to get more than that. He had 9 catches. He's got to get almost double-digit catches every week, and he's got to rush 15+. I mean, you're not going to let Bridgewater try to go win you the game, really.
So the formula for the Saints is buckle down on defense.
Run it up.
And run it with Kamara while they're out, while Breeze is out. Another top performer, we had Dalvin Cook, added another 143 yards and a touchdown. He's leading the league by a long shot right now in rushing yards. He's had 100 yards in every game so far to start the season. I think he picks up another 100 against a tough Bears defense this week. Bold take, and of course I'm just reaching there because I have him in fantasy, but Dalvin Cook right now is a top 5 running back in the NFL, and there's no doubt about it.
Definitely, as of his performance right now, but going up against the Bears this week, he might get 100, but it's going to be tough. He's going to have to break one, just luckily, because Kirk Cousins does not scare me at all.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. We'll get into the preview of that later. Another monster performer, McCaffrey, also had him in both leagues, 188 yards and a touchdown. He had the amazing 80-yard rushing touchdown that we'll throw a clip up right now for the viewers on the video version once again. But McCaffrey just leads the team. Greg Olsen did much better this week with a passing quarterback. Also on one of my 2 teams, had 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. Carolina just looked a little dangerous this week with the quarterback move.
I mean, Arizona's not got the best defense, so pump the brakes a little bit, but still 38 points in the NFL is 38 points.
Good matchup there, like we had said. And then we'll move to the Giants game for one of our next top performers, Daniel Jones. In his debut, 336 yards and 2 in the air, another 2 touchdowns on the ground. Comeback with a huge comeback for Giants. He looked nice, and I'd be excited if I owned Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram, a bunch of those guys in fantasy now. Giants may have became relevant again.
You definitely had to get Golden Tate. If he's on your waiver wire, got to snag him up. Daniel Jones looked absolutely like the number 6 pick in the draft. Let's be honest. He played amazing. Granted, it was the Bucs, but, bro, it's his first start. It doesn't matter who it's against.
I agree there. Daniel Jones looked amazing. Our next top performer, Mark Ingram.
Hold up. Since we're on the Giants game, you gotta talk about the missed kick at the end. How? Perfect extra point, PAT, right up the middle. Shanks it.
We'll talk about that in the game recap in just a second. We had a few more top performers this week. A lot of people went off. Mark Ingram, ex-Saints running back. I talk about it on the show all the time, how I wish we still had him. He ran for 103, had 3 touchdowns. He was a crucial part of that close game, kept him in the game kind of. He did well. Mahomes also in the same game. I have a feeling every week we're going to talk about Mahomes. Leading the NFL MVP candidate right now, 100%.
Easy.
Threw for another 375 and 3 scores. He's almost a lock to throw for 3 touchdowns every week. Therefore, he might break the all-time pass touchdown record. You think it's possible? 55 touchdowns this year? He had 50 last year, 49.
I don't know. It's going to be a stretch for him to get to 50 again. He's going to have multiple 4 TD games, even maybe 5 or 6. We'll see what happens when they play the
All
Patriots.
it takes is a 5 or 6.
Yeah, I know. But he's going to have at least 2 of those extraordinary games.
And the last top performer of the week before we move into the game recaps is Keenan Allen.
Dude.
He's been the number 1 receiver in the NFL so far up to this year.
Killed
Fantasy-wise, receiving yards-wise, catches-wise. Keenan Allen, dominant. Went for 13, 183, and 2 scores. Still lost to the Texans, but in a very good game. And he's been absolutely blowing up. Wish I had him on my fantasy team.
Same.
Had him last year. Amazing. He is a beast. Underrated.
Definitely. With Hunter Henry being out and they don't have Tyrell Williams anymore, they're having to feed Keenan Allen like heavy. And no Melvin Gordon, so he's getting extra volume for right now.
So that, guys, is our fantasy monsters for the week. And now we'll transfer into the week 3 recap. I'll start it off with the noon games. I want to tell everybody my bad beat of the week. I had a 4-team parlay and a 5-team parlay, $25 on each. Paid out to a total net of over $700. Had Dallas beat Miami by 22, covered. Chiefs in Baltimore over 53, easily covered, 61. And then Green Bay by 7, covered, beat the shit out of Denver. And then Patriots to cover. Patriots will be the first game we speak of right here. 30-14 final score. Patriots defense, they allowed 14 to the Jets.
No,
negative.
The defense didn't allow a touchdown.
It was special teams, block punt for a touchdown, and a pick 6. They took Tom Brady out of the game. Backup quarterback throws a pick 6 in the fourth quarter with a few minutes left to lose me $700 on a 5 and a 4-team parlay. Pissed. Patriots, I hate you. I'll leave it there. You could talk about the game a little, or we can move on.
You could really move on. The Jets are a non-factor without Darnold. Their O-line's trash.
We'll start
Patriots are that.
We'll start with the Sunday or the Thursday night game then. Jaguars versus Tennessee. We were both mixed opinions on this game. Jaguars and Minshew went out and did their thing. Got the win 20-7. Mariota looked like a chicken with his head cut off. This guy is so bipolar, and
Did you watch the
Jaguars
game?
capture the win. Yeah.
Dude, the weather was terrible. Raining hard as ever. Still, Jags able to put up 20 points impressively against the Titans defense. I had Derrick Henry in fantasy, frustrating as hell watching that game. He'd break a 10, 15-yard run, hold and call it back. Happened like 4 plays in a row.
I know Derrick Henry fantasy owners were upset. Nobody really stood out in fantasy in this game. On to our next game, the noon games. We just mentioned Patriots game, so we'll skip over it. Next, we had Dallas, 23-point favorite, winning there against Miami, covered. Slow first start in the first half. Got it together. Zeke with a great performance. Easy Cowboys win. Simple as that.
Yeah, Cowboys dominated second half. Like we called each other at halftime, said Cowboys going to dominate. I told you. I'm sitting here texting you.
Touchdown.
Cowboys touchdown. Cowboys touchdown. Cowboys touchdown. Easy. Even Pollard had 100 yards.
Wow.
That's how you know you're running the ball whenever the backup
That's
got 100
why you know
yards.
Miami
too.
has a trash rush D.
Either that or your O-line's just that good.
All right, next game we had Buffalo and Cincinnati. Buffalo gets the win, 21-17 to remain 3-0. Good win for Buffalo, though, and we'll start moving through the picks a little quicker. Stop me if you have a highlight that we could throw up on the TV, or you want to get further into a discussion on a certain game. Next up, we had Green Bay and Denver. Easy win for the Bay, 27-16. Like I said, they were in a lot of my parlays and picks, so they did the damn thing, won the game. After that, we had Indy, Atlanta. Not what I expected, but as a Saints fan, I was pleased. Indianapolis with the win, 27-24. Julio Jones with a monster catch like you had mentioned earlier. We'll throw that up on the screen here. And you had anything on that game or no? Good there?
Falcons head coach might be on the hot seat. That's what I know. The offense is looking all right. Julio's actually catching touchdowns, which I'm ecstatic for since I drafted him this year in the second round. But that's really it on that. Brissett looking good. T.Y. got hurt. He's game time decision for this week, though.
He's always getting hurt.
Yeah, I know.
Next up, KC, Baltimore. We knew this was going to be a great game. 33-28 final. The score was a lot further in a distance than it portrays. Really, Kansas City was smashing majority of this game. Baltimore kind of chipped away. But all in all, a very good game.
Yeah, I don't know how much the weather could have played a factor with catching passes, throwing the ball, and all that. It was windy a little bit with some rain, but Chiefs somehow found a way to score 33 against a depleted Ravens secondary. Really, they lost both their top corners, and Ingram really carried the day for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson
touchdowns. Lamar Jackson looked like a running back once again.
Nah, he was doing all right. Not as good as he had been, but it was still a solid passing performance. Really, he's untouchable in the open field, though. You got to give it to him.
I will give it to him, and like you said, great game. I'm sure we'll see these two teams again, hopefully matched up in the AFC playoffs. I could definitely see that happening. Next up, we had another borderline playoff team, Minnesota, with an absolute demolishing of Oakland. 34-14 was the final there. Dalvin Cook, another huge performance like we mentioned. You got anything there? On to the next.
On to the next.
On to the next. I had to give Mac his credits here. Detroit goes into Philly with the 27-24 win, takes advantage of that lackluster Philly secondary, and absolutely outscores them. Just simply beat them at their own game. Good team win all the way around, 27-24 Detroit, Matt.
Yeah, the Eagles leading the league in drop passes with 12 already through 3 games. Carson Wentz throwing to open receivers only 43% of the time. You can't expect big numbers out of that. He's really doing good for what he's got. 12 drop passes?
Yeah, they need to get back healthy. Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey getting back in the lineup, I believe, will help a lot. That pushes us into the next game. Carolina with the 38-20 victory over Arizona. Like we had mentioned, Kyle Allen, the backup, looked good. Good game from McCaffrey. Good game from the Carolina defense. It's all around a good win. Not much to be said there. Next up, we had New York Giants and Daniel Jones' debut with a great comeback victory, beating Tampa Bay 32-31. We know Tampa with the last-second missed field goal chip shot to win the game. Once again, as a Saints fan, I was ecstatic that Buccaneers and an NFC South opponent lose once again, putting Saints further ahead. You got anything to say on that game? I know you were pretty excited about the performance by DJ.
Yeah, I liked how he played. Most importantly, Saquon going out for me, though. That hurt my fantasy team pretty bad. And I'm pretty thin at running back, honestly. I need to make a trade. But you as a Saints fan, you got to be licking your chops at the division y'all are in.
Oh, yeah.
That Winning is ridiculous.
Easy money.
That might be the weakest division in the NFC.
This year, it may be, the way they're playing. Next up, we had Houston at L.A. I was cheering for Houston, obviously, as the local team. Always cheer for them as long as they're not playing New Orleans. They had a good victory, 27-20 on the road. That's going to look good on their resume for the playoffs. Helped a lot. A game they weren't necessarily supposed to win. But 27-20, went in there and got it done. Big performances from Deshaun Watson. Went 350-3 scores. We had mentioned Keenan Allen earlier, but it wasn't enough. Houston gets the win, moves up 2-1. Going to win that AFC South division, I believe. They'll take the Colts out when it's all said and done.
I don't know. I like the Colts over the Texans when it comes all down to it.
With Andrew Luck, Colts for sure. Brissett, I'm still on the bridge. Not exactly sure what I think. But we'll move to the next game. The 3-0 49ers, as we had mentioned earlier, get off to a quick start and win another game, 24-20. Pittsburgh, they just look like shit. I think they're tanking. San Fran, they look pretty bad too. 4 turnovers. Jimmy G puts up 12 fantasy points, but they still get the win. I think if they really played well, they would have beat Pittsburgh by 20, 30 points, to be honest. Pittsburgh's that bad this year.
Yeah. The thing is, they're that bad, and they traded away their first-round pick. So what are you tanking for? That sucks.
Man, that sucks. Sucks to be a Pitt fan this year. Sorry, Steech. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Steeler Nation. Hate it for you. Next game, we had New Orleans, Seattle. Can't wait. Pumped. New Orleans goes in there, punches Seattle in the mouth. Defense, special teams, both with a touchdown. Alvin Kamara goes absolutely bonkers. Rips Seattle apart. Chris Carson fumbling all over the field. Fumbling, rumbling, stumbling. Saints run it back for TDs. Saints all the way. Saints to the Super Bowl. Say it every week. A performance without Breeze. Going to Seattle, to the 12th man, and just ripping their hearts out. I love it. Who dat? What you got on it?
I was actually shocked by that game, actually. I'd picked Seattle to win. I thought they were going to do it to them at home with the backup QB for Saints. Turns out the Saints defense actually decided to show up, too.
Bridgewater got a little emotional in the locker room.
Yeah, I know.
That boy's soft. He's going to be the quarterback of my team for the next few years. He better get up there. He did do well managing the game, though. Did what he had to do. Nothing flashy, no turnovers, and an easy win in Seattle, like we mentioned. On to the next. Dallas this week, smacking them. We'll get to that in a minute, though. I don't want to get Matt too riled up. We'll move into Sunday night's game. Rams, Cleveland, started off very boring. Cleveland winning the game 6-3 at halftime. I was like, it's a snooze fest. I know LA is going to come out and win it, though. I had LA as the fifth leg in that 5-team parlay that Patriots had ended up ruining, so it would have covered another bet that would have hit. But LA 2013, Gurley, I'm scared. I don't like what's going on with him. I'm not high on the Rams, although they are third in my power rankings and possibly the best team in the NFC. I'm just still not high on them. I'm not convinced. Baker Mayfield, looked terrible.
No, Baker Mayfield, I really don't know what's going on. He looked decent whenever he had some time to throw the ball, honestly. But they're giving him hell about the interception on 4th and goal. And you go watch the play. He's running for his life, throwing up a Hail Mary 4th and goal. What else is he supposed to do? Just take the sack? No, he's going to throw it up.
Because their playoff chances are about done. Once they fall 1-3 after this weekend to Baltimore, write it off, chalk it up. He's a bust. I
wouldn't say that. Come on
now. Man. I don't like it. All right, last game of the week, we had Chicago at Washington. We knew Chicago was going to go in there with that elite defense. They did. 31-15 victory for Chicago. Trubisky finally with 3 touchdowns. Still had a turnover, but 3 touchdowns in the game. He started to turn it around. They got a little run game going with Montgomery. Pretty easy when you jump up 27, 28 points.
Yeah, I like the Bears getting that offense going, though. That's exciting. I actually kind of find myself rooting for the Bears sometimes.
If they score, Bears are the borderline Super Bowl dark horse team just because
their defense
if they get
is
to where
best
they
in the
can
league.
Score 24 to 28 points a game,
they're dangerous.
They're going to win. They're going to win every game damn near. Should have won last year to Philly. We mention it all the time. If they would have beat Philadelphia and Cody Parkey had a leg, then Bears could be winning the Super Bowl this year. They could have easily beat the Rams. But that's it for Week 3 recap. We'll go into Week 4, give our picks, predictions, any bold takes, go over a few good bets and spreads that we like. And we'll start it off with Thursday's game, Philly at Green Bay. I really like Aaron Rodgers shredding that weak secondary this week, so give me Green Bay by a mile.
I like Green Bay too, pretty much the same reason. Philly's just not equipped really. Packers defense surprisingly playing really good. The spread's at a 4 for Green Bay. I kind of like that.
I like it too. Definitely a good play there for all our Thursday bettors with a little pocket change left over from the weekend like both of us. And next up we had Tennessee, Atlanta to kick off the noon games on Sunday. Tennessee on the road plays so well, but I'm going to give this to ATL. They really need a win to get back on the board. I don't know how they're going to get it. Julio monster game, but he's going to be guarded by a damn good secondary and a good corner out of Adoree Jackson. I don't know.
It's Julio Jones, bro.
Give me ATL and Julio with the big game.
Yeah, I'm taking the same. As long as Matt Ryan takes care of the ball, it'll be ATL's game.
So ATL with the win there. Next, we have Pats at Buffalo. Pats is 7.5. I think it's gold on a teaser at 1.5. But I'm just going Patriots. Nothing else to say here. Buffalo off to the hot 3-0 start, but it ends bad. Patriots by double digits, most likely.
Yeah, Patriots will go out there to prove a point this week, beat the 3-0 Bills.
Probably beat the shit out of them, to be honest.
Probably.
Would not surprise me. So Matt's going Pats as well. Next up, I think we have a high shooting game. KC at Detroit. I think there could be 55, 65 points scored in this game. I'm going to go KC for sure with the dub. And I like the over-under at 54.5. It's the highest of the year so far, but I could definitely see KC putting up 40 on Detroit.
I could see that easy. The spread right now is 6.5. That's easy, KC.
Another teaser. Patriots, KC teaser, max it. Max it, viewers.
Definitely.
Next game we had Oakland at Indianapolis. Indianapolis, easy win. I'd have to check the spread. I'd imagine it's probably 9, 10.
6.5.
6.5. Wow. Another good teaser play on the Colts at home versus Oakland. Give me the Colts. Easy.
Yeah, give me the Colts too. I'd like them to win easy.
LAC, the Chargers at Miami. Give me whoever's playing Miami by a long shot. I believe it's 14.5 on the spread.
15.5.
15.5, 16.5, 16.5. Give me the Chargers absolutely smashing these boys.
I told you earlier, Phillip Rivers on the road is like 1-13 against the spread when he's a double-digit favorite. I don't know. I'm taking the Chargers to win, but Miami could put up a little fight that Chargers kind of ain't ready for.
Yeah, I don't know. We may come back into the show, and if Miami beats LA, then I'll give you some props. Or if it's even a close game. I don't know about that. Next up, we got Washington at New York Giants. A week ago, this game meant nothing. This week, it means everything. Daniel Jones' second start. He should get an easy dub. He should get an easy dub in his second career game against Washington. So look for Giants without Saquon to somehow find a way to get the win in the most boring game of the week, probably.
Without Saquon, they moved the ball way better. You didn't notice?
Nah, I wouldn't accredit it to that. When it's Daniel Jones' first career start, maybe they just moved the ball better with him. That'd be my insinuation.
Yeah,
sure.
Maybe you're right.
Not without Saquon.
Dude, I mean, of course he's the best player on the field, but after they stopped trying to feed him the ball right up the middle, they actually started moving the ball a lot better. Taking
agree.
it. I mean, if you try to run it on first down, 2nd and 9.
So New York, Washington.
New York, easy.
New York, easy. I hadn't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, I know. I seen
Give
they
me
were
New York,
a favorite. I was
easy.
like, damn, what the hell?
Next game, we have Cleveland at Baltimore. Like I mentioned a minute ago, I think Baltimore takes this one. I think it's going to be a closer game than many expect. Obviously, two equally balanced teams. Psych. Baltimore killing them. I'd like to know the spread. Do you have it? But give me Baltimore in this one no matter what.
The spread's a 6.5. I like that easy. Baltimore, I think, smacks them.
Baltimore's that team right now, or one of, even with the loss to KC. Next up, Carolina at Houston. With or without Kyle Allen, Cam Newton, whatever. Still give me Houston winning this one at home. I don't think they drop it, but it might be a more competitive game if Kyle Allen does play QB. But for now, the pick's Houston.
Yeah, I'm going to take Houston and that 4.5 spread, I'm thinking.
I like that. Next up, Tampa Bay at the Rams. Give me the Rams, no questions asked.
Rams easy.
Rams easy. Up next, Seattle, Arizona. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'll take give me Russell Wilson, really, not the Seahawks. I just got more faith.
Yeah. Next up, Minnesota at Chicago. Ooh.
I didn't even make a pick on this one yet.
This one going to be
I haven't even decided.
This one going to be a good one. This is a good NFC matchup. Of course, the divisional winner could be determined here. This is the best division in the NFC by far. How will Dalvin Cook fare against that Chicago defense? I'm not sure, but give me Chicago just because they're at home. I think this season they split 1-1. Each home team gets the victory. So give me Chicago in a really good game. If Dalvin Cook can get a run game going, though, Minnesota's going to win. I just don't see it happening. Green Bay, too good. We've talked the pass and touchdown to turnover ratio. It's insane. I think they shut Cousins down for sure. So just give me Chicago for now. I'll go with the Bears.
Yeah, I like the Bears. Like you said, Dalvin Cook probably going to get shut down just because nobody's scared of Kirk Cousins anymore. Why would you be? He hasn't proved anything.
For sure. So you're also taking Chicago in this. Next up, Jags at Denver. Probably the weakest game of the week. I don't even know, man. Give me the Jags.
I like the Jags too.
Give me Denver going 0-4 to start the season.
Ooh.
Trash. Next up.
Hold on, go back to that. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb have 0 sacks this season.
They don't want to play, dude. Denver sucks. They just don't want to show up. It's terrible. Tragic. Next up, Dallas at Saints. Ooh. Yes. Give me the Hoodats at home against Dallas. Shout out to all my Dallas fans. Y'all have not played a real team. Y'all are lucky Breeze ain't playing or we'd smoke y'all's ass. But Saints win this easy. I don't even think Dallas will lead at any point in the game. Give me the Saints. over the Cowboys with no Drew Brees, and then we'll whoop their ass again in the playoffs just to do it twice in 1 year. Give me the Saints.
Tripping.
Give me the Saints. What you got? Give me Kamara, too, going off. Who's going to guard Mike? Nobody. Saints.
Who else we got to guard other than Mike Kamara, though?
Saints, easy.
Give me the Cowboys simply because the O-line is the best in the league. Who's going to stop Zeke? Nobody. Y'all's defense got more holes than a piece of Swiss cheese.
We'll strip six him. He hadn't fumbled all year. He's well overdue for a big pick, for a little fumble-rooski.
Dak's going to show y'all.
Dak's probably going to shred us. I will admit it there. Coming back home to Louisiana, it'll be a good game for him. But give me the Hoodats. You obviously going to take Dallas. Even without Breeze, man, if they would have lost to Seattle last week, I would have said a little different. But I think they got a little swagger going, and they want that. They want to be that first loss for Dallas.
Dallas is a lot better than Seattle.
Yeah, but they're not at home. Maybe in Jerry's world, where they were only up 4 Miami at halftime. Give me Saints first half. Give me the Saints. Next game of the week and best game of the week, Monday Night Football, Bengals at Steelers. The battle for the worst team in the league, battle for the number 1 overall pick. I don't even know. Give me Steelers in this. Both teams suck. Give me the Steelers.
I like the Steelers too, but I think it's going to be actually a decent game. Actually a shootout. Both teams got zero defense, really. Got a lot of weapons on each side of the ball. Why not?
So Matt's thinking a good matchup. I'm thinking otherwise. Terrible, boring game. But that's it, guys. We'll wrap it up there with the NFL preview for Week 4. And we'll move over to college football. First, we'll say a little Heisman watch after teams have now completed a few weeks of play. We're getting a good feeling for how everybody is. We won't really know until the big divisional games. But right now, Jalen Hurts is number 1 on most polls. I got my top 5 wrote out. It kind of goes along with most polls that I've seen. But it's Hurts, Tua, Burrow, Jonathan Taylor, the running back out of Wisconsin, and then Justin Fields for Ohio State at 5. Right now, Jalen Hurts, Oklahoma, their offense, insane.
Easy favorite.
Obviously, I'm favorited towards Burrow, but right now they have him at 3rd. I could agree with. Tua, monster year. He probably won't even turn the ball over once if he hasn't already. I don't think he has. But Burrow, of course, another huge game with 6 touchdowns, breaking every SEC record known to man. Points, yardage, touchdowns-wise, everything. LSU on fire right now. Jonathan Taylor just had the huge performance against Michigan this week. Tore them, blew them out the water. We'll get to that in a second.
Michigan's
and
fake
Justin
news.
Fields, of course. He only played the first half because Ohio State was up over 40 points. Who do you like winning the Heisman? What do you think?
Oh, I said Hurts from the very beginning. I said Oklahoma's getting the 3-peat.
Oklahoma. I'm going to go Burrow just because I'm going Burrow. If he beats Alabama, dude, he's the freaking Heisman by a long shot.
He got a ball against Bama.
He got a ball and beat Bama, period. We'll beat everybody else. Auburn's going to be a really good game. Can't wait. Auburn surprised me this week and played really well at A&M. We'll get to that also in a second. But that's our 5 right now for the Heisman candidates. That's who we like. Let us know, viewers, if y'all think we're leaving someone out that's a dark horse or anything like that. But I'm rolling with Burrow. You're rolling with Hurts right now.
Easy.
And we'll see. We'll see what happens. So quickly, we'll do a Week 4 recap. LSU Vanderbilt, obviously, because we have a lot of LSU fans. We'll start there. LSU put up 66 points, 66-38 victory at Vanderbilt. A few crazy things from the game. Vanderbilt Stadium holds 38,000 people. 32,000 LSU fans to 6,000 Vanderbilt. Listen to this. LSU drinks the stadium out of liquor by halftime and cheers and rallies as the beer trucks roll back up to the stadium. Drank the bars around the campus out before 9 a.m. This was an 11 o'clock game. Could you imagine a 6 o'clock game? Vanderbilt would have blew up. Frank told me when he lived over in Knoxville, Tennessee at University of Tennessee, when LSU came to play, it was the most hyped game of the year. LSU fans everywhere. Tennessee loved that LSU was coming to play because we were the most fun, all that. But LSU, in other words, another dominant performance.
Better tighten up that defense, though. Bama will pick that ass apart.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's hard to keep them off the field. They're running such a fast-paced offense. Obviously, they're getting gassed. We'll slow SEC games way down. That's a fact. We're not putting up 60 in SEC play, and we ain't giving up 40. That's a fact. But Burrow with the huge game, 400 yards once again, 6 touchdowns. The leading receiver, Jamar Chase, is going to be a first-round NFL pick for sure. NFLSU with the wide receivers, we got the best of the best. He had 10 catches for 229 and 4 scores. LSU just...
Damn.
Oh, he's a savage, dude. He's leading the nation in a couple categories right now, I believe. But LSU absolutely dominant, 66-38. That was a great game. Next game, we had USC beats number 10 Utah. A lot of people called it. Utah making the playoffs, all this. Everyone's overhyped on Utah. I knew the hype would come to an end. If it wasn't now, then later. And USC shows up. Backup quarterback gets hurt. Put in the third-string quarterback. Savage, some top recruit from a little high school or something. Goes in there, plays like a dog. Beats Utah. Utah, no more. We won't talk about him again all year.
Nope, they're done.
Dunsky's there. USC with the big win. Utah, big loss. Knocks him out of contention. Maybe next year, Scott Frost and co. Next game, Wisconsin smashes Michigan. 35-14. Game starts out 28-0 first half. Wisconsin offensive line just dominating. The running back for Heisman candidate, Jonathan Taylor, with an amazing 200-plus yard game. We knew he would show up. We knew it'd be a good game for Wisconsin at home. But damn, Michigan looked shit, didn't they?
Dude, Michigan is past due. Harbaugh got to go. They can't win with them. They can't beat Ohio State. They
can't even beat
just
Wisconsin
smashed by
now?
Wisconsin. Just
They
got
barely beat Army.
disrespected. Yeah, that too.
Shea Patterson for Heisman, all the preseason hype. What a joke. Looked terrible. Wisconsin, I thought they were going to still yet to allow a point. Shut them out first half. So still solid. They went 10 quarters without allowing a point to open the season. Pretty solid. Or no, 14 quarters, I believe.
Yeah.
3 games. And then 3.5 games. So credit to Wisconsin there. They look dominant. I cannot wait for the Ohio State-Wisconsin game.
That's what I was going to say.
Over under 1 million. Give it to me. 1 million. Over 1 million points. I'm telling you, going to be a hell of a game. I really like Wisconsin this year. They could be that sneaky 4th playoff spot if something SEC crazy happens in the
If
SEC.
they win the Big Ten and dominate Ohio State,
oh, they're in there.
then they're in
no
there for
doubt. They
sure,
definitely
for sure.
deserve it. Next game, we had Auburn at A&M. Auburn handled this one pretty easy going into the fourth quarter. It was 21-3 Auburn. The defense, great. Run defense especially. Good special teams with a touchdown. They got one of the nation's best kickers. Blah, blah, blah. Auburn looked dominant. They moved up from number 8 a few spots, I believe, because of the performance. And A&M, 2 losses already. They're going to lose to LSU. They're going to lose 3, 4, 5 games this year. They're going to lose to Bama. They're going to lose 4 or 5 games. SEC West is just too tough.
They had the toughest schedule probably I've ever seen, really.
Except LSU next year. Clemson, Texas, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Auburn.
Yeah, that's rough too.
That's nuts. Last game of the week that we had that was very good or decent matchup, whatever. Georgia versus Notre Dame. I expected Georgia to go out and light them up. The game score was closer than the game really was. 23-17 was the final. It was 23-10 in the fourth there. Georgia didn't close it out exactly too well. But Georgia's run defense and their run game just amazing. Held Notre Dame's running back to like 30 yards. Had 2 interceptions off the quarterback book.
That's RBU.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They produce the best running backs by far. But Georgia looked good. I think LSU is for sure better, though. I think LSU would mop Georgia up. So I really want that 3rd spot. I don't think the AP voters approve this week just yet, but it's coming. LSU will be number 1 before it's all said and done. Whether it comes down to the last game of the year versus Clemson, we're going to be number 1. Back
I
where
was
we
curious
belong.
to see if Georgia could jump to 2 with Alabama playing really a nobody, with them beating Notre Dame. What were they, the 8
Yeah.
or the 9? I mean,
I knew it wasn't going to happen. Yeah. Not so fast. So this week, not many good games. A lot of teams on bye, like we had mentioned before the show. LSU's on the bye week. They really needed to rest up. We're down a bunch of starters right now on both sides of the ball. So hopefully that gives everybody time to get healthy. The only game I'm going to put on upset alert, and I'm really high on Ohio State, so I really doubt it happens, is Ohio State at Nebraska. They always get into a close game.
Ooh, that is a nice one.
Yeah, they always get into at least one close road game when they're a heavy road favorite. So I think Nebraska could be the place. A very hostile crowd could shake up Fields a little bit. That's the only game I'm going to put on watch this week. Other games kind of suck. Washington State's going to be a good matchup. I forgot exactly who they play, but it's another solid matchup. Shout out to their quarterback last week, threw 9 touchdowns in one game. Also, shout out to UCLA who played Washington State, come back from losing by 32 points to win the game against Washington State. And UCLA has a playmaker, the next whatever, Tariq Cohen, McCaffrey, Kamara, dual threat running back receiver. Fulton, the running back, or Felton, whatever, from UCLA. Kid is a dog. But anyways, that was it on college football. We might put up some of his highlights right there. The UCLA running back, a few quick videos of that game recap, the sequence of how they came back 32 points that quick, and how that game score was the highest scoring Pac-12 game in history. It was like 140 points. Both teams put up 70 almost, I believe. But that's it for college football. We'll run into MLB just real fast and say a few things. Right now, as the season ends, only 4 to 5 games left. Most teams have completed their playoff positions. It's all set in stone damn near. NL wildcard is going to come down to the last few games. AL wildcard pretty much set. But right now the most important thing is Astros, Yankees, ALCS. They're racing for home field advantage. Whoever wins in the AL is most likely going to be the team with home field advantage. Obviously, I'm biased towards the Astros. As you could see, Astros hat, Astros World Series ring on the show a lot. Love the Stros. I think they definitely get it, but they need home field advantage to do it. Very critical. Matt, a Yankees fan on the other hand, he agrees. He knows how critical it is for home field advantage.
I think the Astros ultimately beat them in the ALCS. I got to say, I'm not watching any of this playoff until the ALCS, and then probably the NLCS maybe. I'm thinking Dodgers just run through the NL, no problem, make it to the World Series again.
And lose it.
Yeah.
What,
again.
4th straight? Yeah. It'll be 3rd or 4th straight World Series loss for LA. I agree. I have Yankees and Astros coming out of the AL for sure. We'll definitely 100% have to go to a game. Winner of the game, we'll make sure we go game 1, Verlander pitching or Cole, so we can make a bet.
No.
Winning team pays for, or losing team pays for the game tickets.
because we're losing game 1, son.
But yeah, we'll go definitely to ALCS game. Might get a place downtown Houston, do a podcast, do some cool shit live at the game or something. Who knows? Be tuned for that. I'll be a couple weeks out, but October baseball, can't wait. Also agree with your NLCS pick. Dodgers, Braves is what I'm thinking. Hopefully Acuna can get back. He was on pace for a 40-40 season and just fell shy. I believe he was at 38 or 39 with the 5 games remaining. He's out right now for injury. They're looking at the divisional series for when he'll be back. So he should be back in a couple weeks. Braves better hope, because they're not advancing far without him. They could maybe win round 1 against a Washington team or someone along the lines of that, but they're not going past the Dodgers or even winning a game without Acuna in that lineup. So sports fans, baseball fans, we thank y'all for watching. We'll see everyone next week on the show. We'll wrap it up here. Check us out at YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Drop a link or a like, subscribe, whatever. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Check out our sponsor, Legend Geared Apparel at legendgear.co. Discount code LND10 for 10% off. And y'all go like, subscribe, send in questions, whatever. And we'll see everybody next week.
I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirits.